Hi, hello. So I have a little book haul for you all. Um, it's quite big. So yeah, so I'll tell you where I got these all from as we go through. So first off, it's one I've already started reading. It is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, and I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know what chapter this is, but I'm only 90 pages through it. But it's so good so far. So, yeah. And then we have Powerless. So, Binding 13 and Powerless are from Waterstones. This is really pretty. It's got like sprayed edges and then like a... Yeah. I've heard good things. So, yes. Then also from Waterstones is Iron Flame. I finished reading, Fourth Wing, and I thought, you know what, why not read the next book, because I really enjoyed it and I want to know more. Yeah, so that's exciting. That was also from Waterstones. This one is Caraval, a very pretty thing. Caraval little thing, I actually had to go and get in contact with Waterstones and get them to replace it because it came extremely damaged. If I can remember to or find photos, I'll include a photo of the damage here. But yeah, it wasn't good. But I got a copy that was not damaged. Oh, Iron Flame. I also had to get in contact because my initial copy of Iron Flame, so I'm up in Scotland, right? My initial copy of Iron Flame got sent to the Docklands in London. So they sent me a new copy. And then these are my two that just came a few days ago. I say just came, it was a few days ago. And that is book 1 and 2 of the Game Changer series. So there is Game Changer and Heated Rivalry, which I'm very excited to read. I really enjoyed the TV show adaptation, series 1, and I love like queer novels, and I also apparently really love novels that used to be fanfiction. Some of my favourite books used to be fanfiction, so we'll see how that gets on with, how I get on with that. There we go. And then a book that I already technically had, but then so I have an old, like, 90s copy of this book, and it's It by Stephen King. Once again, also from Waterstones. Game Changer series was also from Waterstones. Yeah, so I have an old copy of It, probably from the 90s, early 2000s. However, it is completely falling to pieces. And I'm like, well, I don't want to, like, read it because I'm scared I'm gonna damage it more. So instead, I bought myself a new copy, and it's a hefty book. I don't remember my initial copy being this hefty. And yes, I am aware of that one scene, and no, I am not going to read that one scene. As soon as I get to it, I will skip through it. I will skim read that specific part, because I don't want to read a child orgy at all. But yes, so also from Waterstones. Last two books from Waterstones, we have Call Me By Your Name. This was one that I was convinced I was never going to read. First off, there's not much flop to it, but I was convinced I was never going to read it, because of the implications of the fact that the main character's 17 and the other guy's in his 20s, I want to say. And I mean, as a 23-year-old, I would never even think about dating a 17-year-old. In fact, my boyfriend is 19, and that is a year younger than my sister, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. I don't really like to think about that. But, the fact that my boyfriend is younger than my sister, that is. But, like, 19 is probably the youngest I would ever go, and I started dating him when I was 22. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I promised myself I was never going to read this book because of the implications. But then I read it. I was like, you know what? This is a bestseller for a reason. Why not? So yeah, that was also from Waterstones. And we'll see if I like it or not. And then finally, the last book from Waterstones, and then I have 3 more books, is I Who Have Never Known Men. My cousin actually suggested this book for me to read, and I thought it was a really kind of interesting what's it called? Premise. And this, see, it says it's a vintage fiction, and I know that vintage now is like when I was born, which is crazy, but it's 1995, so I don't know. But yeah, I thought the premise of this book was really interesting. From what my cousin said, I'd really enjoy it, so I decided to read it. I decided to get it, also from Morrison's. Also, it's a fairly short book, and a large portion of this, like that much, is introduction. So, yeah. And then we have 3 books that I got from Tesco. And Tesco, I don't know if they still got this sale on, but Tesco had a sale where it was like 2 paperbacks for £9.50, and then also some of their hardcovers were on sale for £9.50. So all in all, I spent like £20. Yeah, about £20 on books altogether from Tesco, which seems like a lot, but I'll show you. So first off, I got When the Moon Hatched. I've heard good things about this book. This book was originally supposed to be $9.99. So the fact that I got this book for, and another paperback for cheaper than what this book was supposed to be, is a banger. But yeah, When the Moon Hatched, I don't really know much about this story, but I also don't know much about half the books that I got. So I like to go into it blind. I don't even read the blurb half the time. Blurb? Summary. Whatever. Both. I don't really read the blurb on the back half the time. I'm just like, I've heard good things, I'll see if I like it. So yeah, that's When the Moon Hatched. And then I also got, and so I know I like Fourth Wing, so also by Fourth Wing, I got The Things We Leave Unfinished, and I was originally going to get this in a hardcover, but then I saw it was paperback, and then I saw the and paperbacks automatically cost less anyway, but then I saw that the paperback was in the sale, so I was like, okay, this sounded really interesting. I did actually read the blurb for this because I've never heard of it. It's basically this girl, the main character, or the female main character, her grandmother was a famous romance author who didn't get the chance to finish her last book, and so Georgia, the main character, or the female main character, is determined to finish the story, but it first needs to be written, and then she meets the best-selling romance author of the generation, and they start working together to create the book, and it seems like it's gonna be a romance novel, and then it also says that together they realize that Scarlet, the grandmother, was saving the greatest love story of all until her own. When serving the Second World War, she fell in love with the handsome and enigmatic pilot Jameson. But are Georgia and Noah about to discover that not all love stories have a happy ending? So that sounds really good. And then finally, and this was another one that I thought sounded really interesting when I read the blurb, is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. And I thought this was also a really pretty book. It's got straight edges. I promise I don't always judge books by its cover, but I saw this and I was like, oh, that's really pretty, and that's what drew me to it initially. Yeah, it's about basically this girl keeps dying in previous lives because she, before her 18th birthday, in every life, because of an enemy who she keeps falling in love with. But this time, in her present life, her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. And so, she needs to find the centuries-old enemy who hunts her through every life, figure out why she's being hunted, and most importantly, try to not fall in love with them again. And look how pretty the cover is. It says, I love you, and I have loved you, and I will love you until we meet again. And that's cute. And yeah, it's... ooh. Jesus. Okay, the writing in it is like huge. So I feel like despite the size of the book, it actually won't be that long a read. Oh, also the end pages are gorgeous. I forgot that was a selling point, but yes. And yeah, this video was filmed at almost 4 AM, in case you were wondering. And I am now planning on editing this video and uploading it for tomorrow. And I've also just remembered, I have the dentist in the morning. Oh joy. Okay, anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please feel free to leave a like, feel free to leave a subscribe. I have a Twitter account, which I just changed the handle to, because I'm trying to, what's the word? Not go by zeros with my main username, Paper Moons, anymore. So it's now Paper Moons, without zeros as O's, TV. So it's Paper Moons TV on Twitter. Yeah. But yeah, I just did that tonight. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, which might be about books, might not. We'll find out. Yeah. Bye-bye!